Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Edelmetallmesse, Precious Metal Fair in Munich, and with me here now is one of the large primary silver producers, First Majestic Silver, and Keith Neumeyer, who is the CEO, wants to give us an update, of course. Keith, welcome.
Oh, thank you. Good seeing you again.
Yeah, good seeing you. Always big pleasure. And well, let's dive directly into it. I mean, I must not introduce the company. You are really well known. Financials Q3 came out. So what were the highlights?
No, we had a fantastic third quarter. We actually generated over $20 million in Q3 from cash flow generation. So yeah, no, it was just great. We saw a big improvement in the silver price, as you know, and I'm sure your listeners know as well. We had a $3 change in the silver price quarter over quarter. So
that's a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. So, a company our size, we're producing over 24 million ounces a year on a silver equivalency basis. So that extra $3 is a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really a lot. So cost-wise, they dropped also?
I'm glad you brought that up. Yes, costs dropped by about 20%. We're in there a little over $10 an ounce.
That's AISC? Yeah.
That's right, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's average among all the mines. Mm-hmm. We've got some lower cost operations and we've got some higher costs, but that's the average.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. How many mines you have now in production?
We have 5 mines into production right now.
Mm-hmm. And what are the plans to add on that?
Well, we've actually reducing because we've got a couple of legacy mines that we just haven't made the investment into for the last couple of years. Our focus has really been on our larger mines, the San Dimas and Santa Elena mine, mm-hmm. and to a smaller degree the La Encantada mine. Mm-hmm. So those 3 mines are really, well, over 90% of the production mm-hmm. in those 3 mines.
Okay.
About 95% of the profits are in those 3 mines. So they get most of our attention. The smaller mines are losing a little bit of money. We're kind of trying to make a decision on what to do with them. We shut one down in July. We've just in the process of shutting another one down right now. So we're likely going to end the year with only 4 producing mines.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. How would that affect, let's say, your overall costs, of course, on the one hand, and on the other hand, production?
The production, it doesn't affect it at all.
Okay.
These are the one that we shut down in July was producing 1 million ounces. Okay. So it's 1 million ounces is not bad, of course, mm-hmm. but when you're 25 million, yeah. 1 million doesn't really impact you that much.
That's right.
The one we're just currently in the process of we're not winding it down 100%, but we're slowing it down. But it's only 500,000 ounce producer, mm-hmm. so it's really insignificant.
Okay, super. You said 20% went the AISC down. Was this due, let's say, heavy savings by, let's say, sustaining investments, or let's say reduced exploration, or did you achieve it because operations were leaner, you had more higher grades, for example, you had more success in mining, I would call it?
Right. Well, there's a combination of a lot of things. Normally, when you get a drop of that magnitude, it's not normally just one thing. We had recoveries reach an all-time high. We actually, globally, among the 5 operating mines, we had 88% recovery, which is the all-time high in the business. 17-year history of the company, 88% is fantastic. So, of course, that drives down costs automatically. Mm-hmm. We also had higher gold grades, which helps your costs as well, mm-hmm. and technology, the adoption of technology. So it's just a combination of multiple things.
Fantastic. So that looks to me like really that you were on the operational technical side very successful, yeah? And you're still doing your exploration, you're still looking to improve mine lives and to make sure that the company has a good future.
Well, the exploration is actually at all-time highs. We have 30 drill rigs active in Mexico right now. Mm-hmm. We're producing. We have just let me think of the number for a sec. We have $27 million in investment going into exploration, mm-hmm. Drilling 240,000 meters of drilling, mm-hmm. which is the highest ever in the company's history. Yeah. We're going to duplicate that for 2020 as well. Mm-hmm. So what we're doing, we're seeing the reserves go up, which is obviously what you want to see. Mm-hmm. And when the reserves go up, you get production going up, costs going down, but of course it takes time. But we're dedicating the funds to the assets now, and going back 4 or 5 years, we were spending less than $5 million a year on exploration.
Mm-hmm. Wow, fantastic. So it looks like a great overall scenario. Let's talk about the larger scenario for the country, because I think there were some irritations in Mexico, president, mining law, stuff like that. Can you comment a bit to give our viewers maybe a bit of an overview there?
Yeah, we've been active in Mexico for 17 years. I put the company together, back in 2002, and we know the country very, very well. We're active in 8 separate states. We have, just shy of 5,100 employees in Mexico. If you include the secondary jobs and all the people, families that we actually impact in Mexico, it's about 60,000 individuals surrounding our mines throughout the entire country. So we have a huge responsibility, and we take our responsibility quite seriously from a CSR perspective and so on. So we've got all kinds of programs in place to assist the communities, whether it's water infrastructure, electrical infrastructure, support to the schools, you name it. Like, we're there as really the support system for these communities. Without us, they would have nothing except the government, and governments, they're slow.
They change from time to time also.
And they're slow in moving and so on and so
that's
forth.
Right,
so these towns are super reliant on us, and but my point is, it puts us in a pretty good position, and when these social skirmishes do show up, because Mexico is complicated. It's got a large, unfortunately, a corrupt or criminal element, which we have to always learn to work around. But we stay very focused on what we do. We're a miner. We mine, and and we can control what goes on behind our gates. But we can't control, what goes on in the communities. We try through social programs to have impacts and so on and so forth. But we do everything we can. I hope that answered your question. I didn't get into politics, but if you'd like to know more, I could answer.
Of course, yeah. The question is with politics. What was that irritation, or what was finally the problem, I would call it?
Well, this current government is very socialistic, and we knew that. Like, they've only been in power now for about a year, but quite interestingly enough, this government actually has 3 senators that came from the mining sector. Which is
they should know better,
and they no, but they do know better.
They do know better.
They
okay.
do know, and they're there supporting the mining sector. The previous government is the government that brought in the taxes, the increased taxes for the mining sector, and they didn't have a single senator that knew anything about mining. So we have despite the fact they're a relatively socialist government, they have the expertise to deal with mining, which I think is quite good. They're not talking about higher taxes. I get asked that question, now and then from people, but we haven't heard rumblings of higher taxes. Well, what we have heard is that they're very concerned about the oil and gas sector. Because according to government statistics, they're losing about $1 billion a year in lost revenue due to thefts from their pipelines. These cartels or these local communities are stealing oil from the pipelines, and it's and that's really the low-hanging fruit. What we've heard is they're really going to focus on trying to shut down some of this illegal activity in the oil and gas sector, and that's really their focus. And they're
which makes sense, of course.
and we haven't seen them say anything negatively about mining.
As you are one of the largest silver producers in the world, I want to have, as always, your take on the market, supply, demand, because I have the feeling we had a good run up to 19. From my chart, funny enough, my first target was 1950, so it was quite good, thank God.
Well, I hit it bang on.
Yeah, but to me it looks like it has to go over 23, and then we have space to 37. What do you see in the market could drive us there, physically wise? As I heard in Switzerland, for example, the people are buying bars like never ever happened before. Gold and silver, of course. And also I heard that we are already in a deficit in the silver market. Is that true?
Yeah, we're members of the Silver Institute, and the data is not always perfect because it's a very secretive industry. Toyota or Panasonic or Samsung or, BMW, Volkswagen, they're not going to tell you how much silver they're using on an annual basis because they're absolutely paranoid about you finding out. Because if you know then all these hedge funds around the world are going to front run them and drive the metal price higher, which of course they don't want to see. So it is a very secretive industry. So the deficit that we're aware of has been going on for quite some time. We estimate that there is somewhere around 500 million ounces of deficit just in the last 5 years, and that silver's coming from somewhere. And we don't know where it's coming from. It's some of it's recycling, of course. Maybe half that number is recycling, and the other half comes from investment hordes or governments or wherever it may come from. But there's definitely a very tightness in the marketplace. We're getting contacted right from the end users looking for supply, and we see that the mine supply is dropping. We don't know the 2019 numbers yet because obviously we're not finished 2019, but we're estimating something in the order of 800 million ounces of silver being produced in 2019.
And usage, meaning?
About a little over a billion. So about 200 million ounce deficit 2019. And this goes down. If you go back 3 years or 4 years, the miners were producing about 870 million ounces. That's where it peaked out. So we've had year-over-year declines in silver production, and each year the consumption keeps climbing due to electrical cars, solar panels, electronics, and all the things that we're using silver for. So I think it's a fantastic supply-demand fundamental story. Silver is, but it's just it gets caught in the gold story a lot. Silver, they call silver the poor man's gold, and I don't look at it that way at all. I look at gold as a currency and the granddaddy of all currencies, but I look at silver as a very strategic metal, something that we need in our daily lives, and people really need to wake up to that.
Absolutely. That's absolutely right. And I think I've read an interesting article about H&M, Zara, Inditex, the large fashion makers. And they are now putting RFID chips on each piece of textile. And RFID is steamed silver, nothing else, right? So maybe this could have another big impact in the future, because those must be billions and billions of pieces. Because I mean,
it'll all get thrown away. None of it will get recycled.
That's
either.
The point, because it makes no sense. So I would say we have a bright market in front of us, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Super.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Keith, thank you very much. Great as always. I would say keep it going. Show us the 24 million and keep the profitability high and make our shareholders happy.
Well, we'll keep working our best, and we have a great dedicated management team that stays very focused on watching our costs and always looking to produce profitable ounces. After all, that's what we try to do.
Exactly. Super. Thank you very much, Keith.
Good seeing you again.
Thank you. Good seeing you. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Keith Neumeyer, the CEO of First Majestic Silver. And you heard it. The market is, since several years, in a deficit. It's still in a deficit also this year. And probably the time is right for higher prices here in the future, maybe quite soon. And also, Keith and the team has done a fantastic job. Approximately 24 million ounces of silver produced this year, and 20% drop in AISC costs. That is a heavy take on, and I think that guys are doing a lot of things right, and we also see it in the performance of the stock. And of course, check out the company. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Munich.